Fully deserving, I felt, on over the course of not just the 90 minutes, but chances we had in, especially the first overtime period as well. Obviously, a very, very good team that, to be honest, as pleasing as the outcome was when we played them in the regular season, we didn't feel like we had given the best account of ourselves and played to our full potential at their place. So we were hungry and excited to give a fair reflection of the team we really are, and I think with the great respect to a very good Marshall team, I thought we were fully deserving of the result today.
Dan, how do you come up with penalty order, penalty takers, and how involved are the players in making those decisions?
We went through a process, obviously, during this conference tournament to start practicing, and went 28 of 28 in practice. So I was a little bit worried Mark was facing the wrong way when we shot, but no, the guys were excellent in practice. We talked through a few of the scenarios and some visualization stuff of making sure when we practice them it's with as much realism as possible. And then I asked the guys to let me know if they wanted to take one at the start of the tournament. And I think I had 18 of the guys that were very willing and able. I checked with them again before we came up with our list, and no one backed away. Every one of them was willing and able. So I felt really good about those that were mentally prepared to deal with that situation, and obviously they executed incredibly well.
Dion, number 6, is your 6th penalty taker to win it. All that he's been through, coming back to WVU, how awesome a moment is that for him and the team?
Well, I was going through the list and realised I'd forgotten him from the top 5, and I was felt a little bad because he's fantastic at striking the ball. So obviously put him in there at 6, and I had a little thought to myself when he went up, and then obviously with the Marshall taker coming after that it would be quite fitting that moment was there for Dion. It's not been quite the year that he's wanted. What an incredible attitude he's had the whole time. So happy for him. So happy that he has that memory from a difficult season off the back of a really long year with injury.
Without being able to scout opposing keepers to see if they've got tendencies or anything like that PKs, is it more just, hey, what are you feeling in the moment? What's each shooter feeling like is their strength?
Yeah, I don't think you can pay too much attention to the goalkeeper unless there's antics, right, and things they might do that you just need to prepare for. But when it comes to the isolated incident of stepping up and taking the penalty, you've got to trust your process, and it's the most closed skill that we have within our sport, arguably. So there is practice, there is repetition, there is that aspect of the mental preparation where you know you're 12 yards away, you know what you can control in that moment. And yeah, I'm very, very pleased with obviously the outcome. I said to the guys, after 90 minutes, we probably deserve to win the game. Keep going. After 100 minutes, same thing, and then the same after 110. So if it meant we had to do it through penalties, then so be it. Be confident and have the faith that we'll get it done, and we did.
What was that moment like for you when you watched the final shot get blocked and then you just won the outcome?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's a little sigh of relief because I thought we were so good today. I thought we played so well. I thought we were very, very effective with how we stopped them, and then far more effective with how we enforced our identity on the game, which we struggled to do just a few weeks ago when we played them at their place. So, like I said, it would have probably been more of a sucker punch to not come away with the victory, given how well the game plan had gone and how well the players had executed it. And then obviously, you're about to go into a tournament format where every single game has the potential of ending like that. So it can feel quite important to actually be on the right side of a penalty shootout and have that confidence and that to relate to or refer to as we go into next week and into obviously what will be the NCAA tournament.
Dan, did you watch?
I watched the ones that Mark was in front of. I haven't watched the penalty of my team since shout out to Will Roberts in 2015 or something like that when he missed. 2017 I think it was. So I haven't watched one of my own penalties for 7 years. But I think I'm 5 out of 6 on penalty shootouts, so I'm sticking with it.
Mark, how much is guesswork, reactions to save a big penalty like
Yeah, I mean, a lot of work goes into it before the game. We get together, all the goalies, our goalkeeper coach Nick Noble, and we make a decision based off what we've seen in the past. which side we think they'll be going to, and it's kind of already predetermined which way we're going to be diving. So there was a couple I didn't have a scout on, but in those moments, it's you make the best educated guess and you go. You hope.
Mark, in the era of the transfer portal, it's uncommon to have guys like you that have stuck around as long as you have. I mean, you've waited your turn. To have a moment like this, how meaningful is it for you?
Yeah, I mean, it means so much just being rewarded for, excuse me, all the work that I put in over the past years with the program. And yeah, it means a ton to me.
Brian, can you kind of talk about the tempo of the game? A lot of whistles, a lot of knocks tonight. How much on the field did that affect the play of the game, and what do you think it did for the rest of the game?
Yeah, no, I don't think there was too much of a flow. But to be fair, when there was a flow, I think we were the team in control. Yeah, I think we managed it well. We had a ton of set pieces, had a ton of chances on set pieces. So I think every time there was a whistle, it felt like we were going to score because most of the time it was, a foul against us.
Their coach also talked about differences in playing in Huntington on their pitch and then playing here on your pitch. Can you guys talk about those differences? And obviously you probably know a little more than Mark, you're out there on the field, but talk about those differences and mentally, what do you have to think about playing on turf and grass? Like, what is that biggest challenge?
Yeah, I mean, I think grass is better, first off. The field is bigger. That's another one. But yeah, just the way the surface plays. In Huntington, it seems to like stick up, and it's kind of hard to get a feel. The long balls kind of hold up. It's just a weird pitch. So definitely an advantage to play at Dick Gillespie today compared to last year.
Yeah. What did this game mean for you, Ryan? Those starts, you've played a lot of games here. Obviously, this one's probably going to stand out. Take us through the moment that you experienced today.
Yeah, no, it was an unbelievable feeling. We talked about it at the start of the year that we wanted to do something special this year as a team, and I really felt like everyone's kind of bought into that. I think it's the first time ever that we've ever won the regular season and the tournament championship. And look, yeah, I put so much trust in the Strats, and then I've just been rewarded with the starts. I know I said to him after, I was like, thank you for the start record. He was like, thank you for sticking around. But no, honestly, yeah, it means the world to me.
Dan, their goalkeeper was very, very good today. What can you say? You had many opportunities that he just was able to save. What was kind of the message to the guys, especially like after going into the overtime period, just to try to find something?
Yeah, just to not linger in the past for too long, right? We had some great opportunities, and he denied a couple of them. And you can't take a moment to think about what could have been and what just transpired. It's with a team like that, and it was kind of a slight reverse of the first game where they were a little bit more transitional, and we were a little bit more territorial and had more of the ball, I felt. That with the pace they had, some of the athleticism, a missed chance, the ball falls to the top of the box, and all of a sudden they're coming the other way, coming downhill on us really, really quickly. We just had to be really resilient and then not get too carried away that we were going to, because we'd had success, not get carried away to get too many numbers in the box and not have the capacity to transition with them, because that looked like the longer the game went on, that looked like their greatest threat.
Dan, it's the next chapter in a series of unprecedented events for the program. College Cup last year, double this year for the first time. What makes your program unique, and why are these things happening now?
I mean, these guys, we have a senior class and a leadership group amongst them that love winning, hate losing, and are completely aligned with, if when I got the job and, what do you envision and what does it look and feel like within the locker room? What does it look and feel like to a man within your student athletes? This is it, and the rest of that group as well. It's a really, really special group. They deserved what they got in the regular season. They deserve what we got today, and we'll be working really hard to earn everything we possibly can in this NCAA tournament.
That makes your case for national seed?
I certainly think so. Yeah, we have the fourth best conference in the country. We've won that. If anyone were to look at the game again, and I mean this in the most respectful way, we deserve to win the game today. Okay, we don't get the RPI implications of the win, but interesting that Marshall probably took more away from today with the tie than perhaps we did. I think they've gone from, I think they were 13 before today, and they've jumped to 8. So we've gone from 17 to 16, but I think we're a really, really solid 16 in that regard. before today, I think Ohio State's playing right now. There were 3 teams in the country with only 1 loss on their record. It was us, Marshall, and Ohio State. Ohio State's won in the RPI, and obviously we've just played. So from my perspective, absolutely. And yeah, I hope the committee sees it that way tomorrow as well.
So since Dan doesn't watch the PKs, for you two, the first one that is partially deflected, how long does it take that ball to creep across the goal line as you're watching for it?
Yeah, I think Mark probably had a better view.
Yeah, I had a very good angle. That was one of the most unbelievable penalties I've ever seen. I mean, it quite literally rolled one time across the line and then stopped after hitting both posts. So it was quite crazy. That's all I can describe it as.
Coach, how unique is it for both Division I soccer programs at the men's level to be as successful as you guys both are? And just for something like this today, I mean, how unique is that for the state of West Virginia?
I mean, if you look at its long-standing history, it's incredibly unique. If you look at the short history of Chris's arrival there, and obviously what we feel like we've been building over the 5 years that I've been here now, it's kind of commonplace. It's pretty cool. Me and Chris still have a good relationship and enjoy each other's company. I love working for him, and I admire what he's done at Marshall. But even on a day like today, you've got to take a moment and say, this is pretty cool what we, as in Chris and Marshall and myself, what we have been able to build here, right? What we've been able to achieve as far as we're in Huntington the other day in front of 3,000 plus. We're here again in a conference championship for the 2nd year in a row. Both teams in a really competitive conference are at the top at the end of it all. I think every now and then we should pause and perhaps not be enemies, but give each other a pat on the back for the fact it takes 2 to tango in this, and the in-state rivalry is obviously really, really big. Great to be on the right side of it, but like I said, a healthy amount of admiration and respect for what they're doing in Huntington.
What are those pregame conversations between you and Chris like?
Pretty typical. We're often plotting and scheming as to how we're going to make this thing even better, even bigger. Whether that's on a national level, with obviously a lot of changes potentially down the pipeline. Within college athletics, we're trying to make sure that both Marshall and West Virginia are really, really well placed to be competing at the highest level within college soccer. So honestly, that occupied a lot of today's conversation. But like I said, we really enjoy each other's company. I don't necessarily enjoy arriving in Huntington, if I'm honest, and I'm not sure Chris always enjoys arriving in Morgantown, but I look forward to seeing him, and I feel as though the feeling is mutual.
What can you say about the environment today for any of you guys, just the fans that came out, and Marshall even had some Kelly Green out there too? What can you say about how big that environment was?
Yeah, it was an unbelievable environment. It's a big game when they got the people behind the goals, and we saw that on both ends. But yeah, I'm so thankful to play for this university and play in front of those people. They brought the energy, and I'm glad we got it done for them.
Mark, can you walk us through the emotions when you make the game-winning save, and then you run to that student section crowd, and you're on your knees, and then everyone comes around you and the whole thing? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, I was ecstatic. Just so happy. I finally got my opportunity to hit a little knee slide. So usually you can only do that when you score goals. One of the rare occasions a goalkeeper might be able to is if he makes a game-winning save in the PK shootout. So I was happy to get the knee slide in, and I'm happy to win the game, and I'm happy to make the save. It was I was full of positive, happy emotions. It was the best.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.